Okay, got a lot going on. Guys, hello. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I have a lot here today. This is just one pile of what I'm going to be talking about, and then here's another. Not to mention I have a few to talk about that was read on my Kindle. Okay. Nevertheless, today's video, if you haven't noticed, I think the thumbnail of this is going to be a little different. I feel like all of mine are literally me sitting here like this, like with books in my hand, so I'm going to try to make it a bit different because I feel like I can for this one, since if you couldn't tell already, this is gonna be books to read like the summer, beach reads, like the perfect summer reads, books that'll be fast to get through, just like a good book that you could breeze through in the nice weather. Summer is my favorite month to read. In the nicer weather, you know, like you want to read more, and I have so many books on my TBR for this month, and I feel like I can get through them because the nice weather's out. I went to the beach yesterday, I finished the series I was reading, and it's just like the warm weather is like the prime time to read. So this is the time to step up your reading game, and if you want to get into reading, like summer was the season that I started reading. I went to the beach, I brought a book with me, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try it. I found a really good book, which I have in here, like one of the first books that like got me into reading, and I read it on a beach, and it was just like, it's just perfect. So that's what this video is gonna be. I don't remember what I started saying, but the thumbnail, I think I'm just gonna try to do something different because the beach reads, I have a lot of pictures of me like reading by the beach or on vacation, so maybe I'm doing that. I don't know, but you will know when you click on this video. I have a lot. I have a few that are just kind of like more author oriented. Like there's some authors that I just like love their books for the summer and for the beach. Like I wait for the summer seasons and the warm weather to read their books. So I'm just gonna go through all of them and we're gonna talk about them. I'm gonna tell you what they're about, and you can see it. Feel like you want to read them this summer, and hopefully you haven't read all of the books that I am recommending because a lot of them are popular, but I just hope you can get at least one book to read this summer from this video. So let's get into it because I have a lot to show you. I actually already filmed this video 2 days ago, but you know when you just film a video, well, I don't know if you know, but sometimes I'll just film a video and then I just feel like it wasn't what I wanted it to be. So we're back, and I've talked about literally maybe 20 books, and it was a long video, so it happens. First, we're gonna start with authors that I kind of have a few books for. So the first one is Emily Henry. I feel like she is the perfect, or at least these two books from her are like perfect beach reads. I read them over the summer. This one I read last summer, this one I read the summer before. And like I said, I had a couple books that got me into reading and I read them over the summer. This was one of the first ones. So 2 summers ago, I read this book, and it was literally like, it just like sparked something in me and like made me like love reading and like romance books. So it's like a very special place in my heart. But I also have her new book, Book Lovers. I haven't read it yet. I'm gonna read it soon. So I don't know if this is like a book to read on the beach, but I just love how her covers and like all of the books kind of go together. They just look so cute next to each other, but I don't have opinions on this just yet. Okay, let's start with beach read. This one, like I said, one of my absolute favorite books ever, but basically it's about January and Gus. January's father passes away and leaves his house for her, but it was like a beach house that he brought like his mistress to, so she's like, okay, I'm gonna go there and clean it out, like I don't want to stay there. She ends up going. She's a writer, she's having a writer's block, and her next door neighbor is Gus. He's also a writer. They meet, they spark up a deal. They're gonna switch genres, the type of books that they write, and they're gonna take each other on little like adventures and stuff to get in the mind of like that type of writing. And by the end of the summer, they're gonna write something in the other genre. So they're like hanging out and stuff like that. It's really cute. Their banter is amazing. I'm like obsessed with these two. They, like I said, this book has a special place in my heart, but this couple does too. It is so sweet, so cute, but also like has like the spice. So highly recommend. It's literally a perfect beach read. I know it's literally called beach read, but I highly recommend this being one of the books if you have not read this yet. And then the other one by her is People We Meet on Vacation. This one wasn't my favorite because, well, let's just say what it's about. Okay, best friends, Poppy and Alex. It kind of gives Love in Other Words. If you've read that book, it's like a then and now, where then they were best friends, they go on vacation once a year together, and then now they haven't spoken, and she's trying to like spark up their friendship again and try to like rekindle it. So she plans a vacation that they go on, and it's kind of awkward and stuff, but then at the end of the book you kind of like get to that part where you figure out why they didn't talk for that many years. And for me, like that part was kind of underwhelming, but like the whole book, the essence of the book and stuff was like, it's like my favorite, like friends to lovers, you know, second chance romance, like those tropes are my favorite. So I loved the book, but just like that one part I was like, this is the reason they didn't talk for that many years. It's just a little underwhelming, but the book is great. I breezed through it, and the storyline, it's just like vacation, perfect for summer. So that is Emily Henry. The next author I'm gonna talk about is Christina Lauren. So I also have 2 of her books that I'm gonna talk about. First one, On Honeymooners. This is again perfect because it's kind of like a vacation book, but basically it's about Olive and what's his name? Ethan. Okay, Olive's twin sister and Ethan's brother are getting married, and then the night of the wedding, everyone gets sick except for Olive and Ethan, and the groom and the bride have a honeymoon that's already paid and stuff. They can't refund it or like change dates, so someone has to go on it. They don't want to waste it, so they give it to Olive and Ethan, but this is like enemies to lovers. They have hated each other forever. They've known each other for a while because of the brother and sister, obviously, but they accept. They go on the honeymoon together, and it's just like them on the vacation, their like tension and stuff and how it grows. One thing I didn't really love is like the end of the book. You get like the honeymoon and then they go home by the end of the book, and it's like another kind of plot line. Some people people like it because you get like two kind of plot lines in one. It was a good book. I breezed through it. I also read this when I was on like a little vacation, so it was super good, perfect for like the summer beach read, warm weather. That is that one. And then this one I read more recently, The Honey Don't List by Christina Lauren. I don't really see this many places, if you want me to be honest, but I picked it up because the cover was really cute. I didn't even read what it was about until I got home, but I ended up reading it. I ended up loving it. I think this book, it's not like so much of like a vacation beach read. It's just like a really quick romance book. Like I flew through it. It's about Carrie and James. They're assistants to a couple that are married, Melissa and Rusty Tripp. And Melissa and Rusty are, think of like HGTV, very famous couple for like remodeling houses and stuff. And then Carrie and James are their assistants basically. The couple are coming out with a book on relationships and their marriage and love, so they're going on a book tour. But the behind the scenes of the marriage that only Carrie and James know about is that their marriage is just broken. Like it's not what it seems to be. So they go on the book tour with them to make sure that everything is going well. No one like finds out that they're not actually like in love and stuff. And what I liked about this book is kind of like a foreshadowing. You get Carrie and James, they're getting interviewed because something happened at the end of the book and they're trying to figure out what happened. So you get kind of like a foreshadowing and you kind of get an anticipation to like find out what happened. So that's kind of why I breezed through this. But like I said, it's a quick read. I love Christina Lauren books. So next author is the epitome of summer reads, beach aesthetic books. Just, you need to get into her this summer if you haven't already. This is Hildebrand. I am obsessed with her. I don't see her too often in the book community. It's not like young adult books. Like it's definitely more mature romances. So I have a bunch here. I guess we'll talk about a few of them. So the first one is a series of 3. I only have the first 2 and I only read the first one. I'm gonna read the second one. Like I said, I'm waiting for summer to reread this because it's just like, it's so good, but I didn't want to read it over the winter. Like it just felt right to read it in the summer, all of her books. So this is the Winter in Paradise series. So basically it's about a woman, her husband dies in a plane or helicopter crash on St. John Island. I'm pretty sure it's St. John. Yeah, the wife has to go there and like figure out what happens next, and then she finds out that the husband had like a whole different life on the island, so she figures that out. It's kind of like a mystery type of thing, but then you get like all points of views. Like all of her books are third point of view, or the books that I read are third point of view, so you get like literally almost every character's point of view of what's going on. So that's what I love. I don't love third point of view, but she makes it in a way where it's interesting because you get to see what's going on in everyone's eyes. So you also get the wife's sons and like what's going on with them. They meet people on the island and you get like all these connecting things. So really good. The first one, I didn't finish it, so I don't know how it ends, but it's very interesting. And then I have 28 Summers. I just recently talked about this book in, I don't remember which video it was, but this is like a perfect romance book. But again, her books aren't like young adults. If you like young adult and you don't like more, I don't know, serious romances, I don't really recommend, but this one is like so good. So Mallory and Jake, I always get them mixed up, Jake and Ben. I don't know why I think his name is Ben. It starts Mallory, she's older, she's sick, she gives her son a note. It says call this number, I tell him I'm sick, whatever. Son calls the number, ends up being this guy who's like married to the woman who's gonna be president, something like that. So he's like well known, and the son is like, how does my mother know him? And then you get the flashbacks of Mallory growing up with Jake. He is, I'm pretty sure it was her brother's best friend, or like one of her brother's best friends, so like that kind of trope. And then every summer they secretly spend 28 summers together, same weekend every year, but you see their relationship growing. It's a secret to everyone. They can never really be together, but then you see the ending. It's just such a good book. I feel like it was well rounded, and you would think that like 28 summers they're doing the same thing every year, every summer, it's like boring and stuff, but the way she writes, it's just so good. And then I have The Perfect Couple by Hildebrand. I also just recently talked about this, but this one, just like Beach Read, I read it that summer 2 summers ago, and it was like one of the first books that got me into reading again. So one of my favorites. This one is more of a romance mystery type of book. So this couple is getting married, and then the morning before their wedding, the maid of honor turns up like dead, and they have to go through what happened and then like the investigation to figure it out. But like I said, all of her books have point of views from like everyone, so you see like everyone's story and what's going on in everyone's life and like what happened with everyone leading up to that. So you see like all these families and like things intertwining in the relationships, and you can see like what the maid of honor was doing. It's just so good, and this kept me on my toes the whole time, but you also get little romances in between, so it was perfect. I loved this book so much. And then last one, this one, I didn't love this one, but I read it like on the beach and it was just like the perfect setting for it. It's called Here's to Us. Basically it's about these 3 women who have all been married to the same man at some point in their life. Like the first wife, he got divorced to her, and then the second wife and whatever, and the third wife, and you get like all their points of views. And then the husband ends up dying. He's like a famous chef, but they thought that he was really wealthy being a famous chef, but he's in a lot of debt. He has like a Nantucket house that they're like trying to figure out what to do with to get the money and all this stuff. So you get like all their lives and like all their relationships with the said husband. And like I said, on Nantucket was the house that they're talking about in all of her books, at least all the ones that I okay, yeah, so at least all the ones that I've read, they take place on Nantucket, or at least have some parts of it on Nantucket, so you get like that beachy town vibe, and that's why it's like perfect summer reads. Like, I'm not kidding. You need to just try at least one of them. I mean, the ones that I've read I know are beachy. I'm pretty sure they all are, but that's just from what I know. Next author, this is the last of like an author, but this is Mia Sheridan. I love Mia Sheridan. I love her writing. So the first one is Archer's Voice. I loved this book. It is so sweet. It's about a girl, Bree. Something happens to her, so she moves to a small town just to like get a fresh start and stuff. Like, she's just taking a break, like she's gonna be there a month or whatever, and she ends up meeting everyone that's in the town. It's like a smaller town, and I love those kinds of settings and tropes and stuff where the main girl like goes to a small town to like restart. That happens. She goes there and she meets all the people, and then she meets a guy named Archer, and he doesn't speak. You find out all of his past and stuff, but for reasons. So he does like sign language, and she also happens to know sign language, so they're able to connect on that point. And Archer is very like standoffish to everyone else, but it's honestly just because he needed someone like Bree to just like connect with him. Like, he needed someone to connect with, so you see their relationship growing, and like his brother's kind of like instigating a little. It's really good. It's really wholesome. I loved Archer. He is such a sweet soul, but just needed someone like Bree to be there for him. So this one, very good. And then I just read this on spring break as well. This is Most of All You. It wasn't my favorite read. I liked the second half like so much better than the first half, because this is like an insta love, and it's just like, it's not for me. It didn't love the beginning, but I read it pretty quick. It's about Crystal. Something happened in her past where she just like completely doesn't trust men. She doesn't want any men in her life, and she works at a strip club, so men are just not good to her. And Gabriel comes in, and he's just like instantly connected to her. He just says like, I need to be with her, like I'm gonna make her mine and stuff, and he like doesn't leave her alone, which is like kind of like annoying. He like basically harasses her, but she ends up falling for it, and they end up connecting and stuff. But like I said, after that little situation happened, I like them, and I like the second half, but it was my favorite, but it's still good. So I do recommend that one. I love Mia Sheridan's writing. I just recently read this as well. I know Haley Fam and Destiny Sidwell both gave it a 5 out of 5. I didn't give it a 5 out of 5, and I always feel bad when like I see people that like I trust their opinions on books give it like a high rating, and then I read it and I like don't like it. But that's what's great about books. Everyone has their own opinions. So this is The Summer of Broken Rules. Like I said, Hildebrand is the epitome of summer like writing scenes and stuff. This is the epitome of a summer book just in general. This is young adult. This is about Meredith. Her family has like houses and stuff on Martha's Vineyard, and they go every year to be with their family over the summer, but her sister passes away, so they don't go for a few years. But then her cousin is getting married, so they go, and their family plays a game of assassin while they're there. So you get like a target, you have to shoot them with the water gun throughout the week, whatever. It's really fun. It's cute. It's like family bonding. But then there's like a little romance happening with her cousin's groom's stepbrother, Whit. I didn't love their romance. I didn't love them together. Honestly, I could have done with this book just being about like rekindling the family and learning to just like be able to be on the vineyard without her sister and stuff. I didn't love Whit and her together. I don't know. Didn't love. But I loved the setting. I loved the family dynamic. I loved all the people that were in the book. It was really good. It was really sweet. But literally, it's basically the perfect summer read. So highly recommend reading it this summer if you have not already. Then I have Alex Approximately. This is by Jen Bennett, and I have also read this a few months ago, but this one was like, I don't know. I think this is also young adults. I don't know if I love young adult. Okay, I have a love-hate relationship with young adult. I either like really love it, or I just like can't get on with it. But this one was like okay, but it's definitely a good summer warm weather read. Bailey, she has like an online relationship with this guy. She lives on the other side of the country as him, and they like bond over like films and movies and stuff. And her father lives where the guy online, Alex, lives, so she ends up moving to her father's house without telling Alex, and they don't really know each other's names or anything really about each other. They just talk online. But then she ends up working over the summer there, and she meets a guy named Porter, and she like feels bad for Alex because she's kindling a relationship with Porter, and it's like this whole thing. I thought this book was very predictable, but it was also really sweet. It takes place in California, literally on like the boardwalk, the beach and stuff, so it's like the perfect setting. But it was a good book. I like read it pretty fast, and it was cute. So that's that one. This is Someone Exactly Like Me by Demi Cromack. This is about a girl named Destiny. Her best friend Candy was like filming like a photo shoot with this guy Nico, who's like a famous Italian kind of like actor, singer, like he's got it all. He's very attractive. Destiny ends up meeting him. They end up like connecting a little bit, but she's like standoffish to like dating. She's a writer. She's in like a writer's block, so she sparks up a deal with him. She's like, I'm gonna use you as like a muse and stuff for my next book. Like we could like make a deal like that. And then his part of the deal is that he agrees to it and whatever. She has to give him connections in like America for like his acting, singing, because her mom is like in that field, so they end up connecting and stuff. It's like a whirlwind of things going on. What I'm really excited about is the best friend Candy. She was like the best friend, and Debbie is coming out with a book on Candy's romantic partners and stuff, and I'm so excited for that. I loved Candy, but it's a really good romance, a really good book. It takes place I think in like the summer. I think she lives in like California or something. Okay, home stretch, guys. Next, I have a series. This is like one of my favorite series ever. This is the Off-Campus series. The people in this go to Briar U, so there's like a spin-off with other characters in the series for Briar U. This is just like the main Off-Campus series. It's by L. Kennedy, and I'm not gonna go into each one, but there's the deal, the mistake, the score, and the goal. Basically, each book is about a different guy on the hockey team at this college and their love interest. So you get the 4 guys, and they all live in the same house. They're all roommates. So after you read the first one about Garrett and you go to the second one, like Garrett and his love interest is still in the second one. So that's what's like my favorite part. Like you read their relationship, but it's not over. Like you keep getting them because they live together. Like you see like the other side of the roommates and stuff and all their love interests, but every guy is different. It was just so good. I felt like it was really realistic. It was really quick reads. I loved them, and I don't know if they're like completely summer beach reads, but I just feel like they would be easy to get through. And if you want like a series, I was obsessed, and I love these books so much. So those are all of the paperbacks that I have. I was gonna talk about Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score, but I just talked about this in my what I read in April, I believe. But I feel like this is a perfect beach read. I feel like everyone's reading it right now, so I don't know if I should talk about it, but I'll just put it out there to read this. It's about a girl who runs away from literally on her wedding night to help her evil twin sister and goes to that town. Twin sister leaves literally her daughter Waylay, so Naomi has to take care of her. And then right off the bat, she meets Knox, who's very mean to her because he thinks it's the twin sister. She's like, it's literally not my twin sister, like it's me, Naomi. And she has to like navigate life now, and they connect. I mean, it's lovers, but you also see her with the child, and it's like a family dynamic, and it's just like her figuring out life. It's not just about her and Knox. So I loved it. It feels like a really nice book to read, honestly, over the summer. I recommend. It was really good. I feel like a lot of people are reading it right now, but I loved it, and the cover is just so cute. Okay, my feet are just like dead asleep right now. I need to like oh god, my coffee almost just spilled. Alright, so my last books I read on my Kindle, if I'm gonna be honest, don't know where my Kindle is right now, so we're just gonna have to talk about it like this. Okay, the first one is Spanish Love Deception. I didn't love this book, but it is perfect beach summer read. It's enemies to lovers. It's this girl, she has a wedding and she needs a date or whatever because her ex-boyfriend's gonna be there, and her family's gonna like badger her because she said she has a boyfriend but she doesn't have anyone to bring, whatever. And she works with this guy, I think his name is Aaron. She works with him, and they're enemies in the workplace, but then he says like, I'll come with you to the wedding. So it's fake dating. It's like that wedding scenery, which I actually did love that like setting in like books when they have like the fake dating at the wedding. So that was fun. But it's enemies to lovers. I mean, it was good. It kind of gets off the hating game vibes, but just like definitely a beach summer read. Like it's perfect for summer. So if you haven't read that yet, I know it's popular, but definitely that one. And then Heartbones. I haven't talked about a Colleen book in this whole video, which is kind of surprising, but I feel like her books aren't like just summer reads. Like you can read them any time of the year. You could read them over the summer, you can read them in the winter, any time of the year, it'll still be amazing. So I don't think they're specific for summer. These books I feel like are just perfect for summer. But Heartbones by Colleen Hoover was just loved that book. Bea, she lives with her mother who is very poor. Something happens that she has to move in with her dad, and her dad is more wealthy, lives with his wife and stepdaughter. So it's like a whole new world. She moves in with him and she meets the stepdaughter. I think her name is Sarah. She meets her stepsister's friends, and one is Samson, and from like the outside they don't have a lot in common, but they kind of connect a little. But then you realize they have more in common than they like put off. It's taking place on like the beach. It's so good. I actually like really thoroughly enjoyed that book. I like was crying at the end. It's just wholesome. I love Colleen's writing. You can never go wrong with a Colleen book, so I highly recommend that one if you're looking for more of a beach read. But honestly, any of them you could read over the summer. Last one, Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It's not my favorite author, but I did love this book. It literally takes place in Malibu, the beach, surfing, so perfect for summer. But it's taking place in like the olden times, the olden decades, and it's about this family who are surfers. They have a famous father, and every year they have like a house party with all the celebrities that come. But like this year something happened, and it kind of leads up to that, but you get like the flashbacks of how the father got famous and what happened to the mother and stuff, and you get every kid, famous surfers like I said, and they're all like in the spotlight. You get all of their dynamics, so you get that. I didn't love the ending, but I did like love this book. I love the setting. Like I said, it's like beachy. That was nice. But yeah, it's like perfect summer beach read. I'm like out of breath from this video. That was all I have. I know that was a lot, but summer, like I said, is my favorite time to read. So I have so many books that I just like looked forward to reading in the summer, and they were just like, to me, are like better when you read them in the summer. Like I don't know, I think it's just the vibe. Reading on the beach, like everything's just like peaceful, and you're just reading, and it's just perfect. So I hope you haven't read all of these, and that there's at least one that you guys can choose for this summer, because I know a lot of these are popular. I read a lot of like popular books, but I don't know. Hope you guys found at least one that you could read. I also hope that you enjoyed this video. I know it was a little longer. I know I talked a lot. I know there's a lot of books, but it's for you guys. Again, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you're gonna read any of these, or if you have any other summer recommendations. I'm looking for some good summer reads. I mean, I have a big TBR right now, but I like a good beach read, so let me know. Hope you enjoyed. I will see you hopefully in the next one. Bye!